you guys, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Zoya Sunset Summer 2016 collection. This is a collection of 6 bright colored summer creams that are supposed to be opaque in one coat. These were sent to me for review and I'll get right into the swatches. First up is Dixie, and Dixie is described as a juicy watermelon red with a densely saturated, buttery smooth application. I think that's a perfect description for this. This is a very pink-based red. I have some comparisons here. This is Zoya's Windy. They're not really close at all. I just wanted to show that they both have that salmon-y pink undertone. Next up, this is Zoya's Juicy against Dixie, and Juicy is kind of maybe close in shade, a little bit more red lining, and also Juicy has a much thinner formula. This is probably the closest dupe I have in my collection, but they're still completely different. So next up is Zoya's America, and Zoya America is just a bright basic red. So you can see the pink that comes out in Dixie there. I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Dixie swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Dixie. This coat got a little bit thicker on me than I intended. Even though it was thick, it was not hard to manage at all. I had no pooling. It went on perfectly smooth and leveled out well. It dried to a glossy finish. So this was completely opaque for me at one coat. I did do a little bit of a thinner coat on my other nails, but it was still opaque. So here is a look at the completed mani without top coat, so you can see how glossy these dry down. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. Next up is Brynn, and Brynn is described as a popsicle pink with a densely saturated, buttery smooth formula. So this is a very cool toned pink. I have some comparisons here. I'll compare it against Zoya's Rooney. And you can see there it is quite a bit darker and more saturated than Rooney is. Here it is up against Azalea from the Spring 2016 collection. So totally different finishes, but kind of close in hues. So if you liked Azalea, you may love Brynn as well. And here it is up against Zoya's Fergie. Zoya's Fergie has a little bit more purple in it. So I think that may be the closest I have in tone. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Brynn swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Brynn. I tried to do a thinner coat here, but the formula on these is really great in a way that it kind of rolls down the stem as you work. So even if you start out with a thin coat, it builds up really great the more that you work with it. And I found that I had a lot of time to paint before they started dragging or messing up. So this is Brynn, and I think one coat is going to bring it completely opaque for me. Here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. Next up is Cam, and Cam is described as a deep, fully saturated orange with a densely saturated, buttery smooth application. They say it's rich and juicy like a ripe tangerine. I get more of like a carrot orange from this. I have some comparisons here. Here is Cam up against Paz. Paz is super bright neon, like orange traffic cone color. So you can see there it leans a little bit burnt. And here it is up against Zahara from the Spring 2016 collection. You can see that those are kind of close, but not really, completely different finishes and everything. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Cam swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Cam. This one goes on really smooth and easy. I think with a thick coat, you could go away with one coat, but I can still see my nail line here. So I am going to let this one dry and come back in for a second coat. Here is a quick second coat of Cam. You can see, like, you can't even hardly see it on camera, just a tiny bit. The second coat is going to bring it completely opaque for me. It didn't get too thick on my nail or anything like that either. Just really nice creams. So here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. So next up is Ness, and Ness is described as a jade green with a hint of blue to make it wearable for all skin tones. I think that is a spot on description. As soon as I saw this color, I was like, oh my gosh, that's jade green. I don't really have anything too close to compare it to. I'll show you up against Bevan here. So Bevan is much, much cooler toned. The only other color that I have that is really anywhere close is Sage, and those are not close at all. So I'll show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Ness swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Ness. This one goes on really smooth and easy, just like the others. I think with a thinner coat, you may need 2 coats of this one, but just one thicker one is gonna bring it completely opaque for me. Really pretty color. Here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. Next up is Zoya's Dori, and Dori is described as a vibrant cornflower blue with a densely saturated buttery smooth application. The only blue that I have that is anywhere near close is Zoya's Rocky, and you can see that Rocky is much lighter sky blue here. I don't have Ling. Ling may be a closer comparison. So here is a brush shot. And I'll show you how Dori swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Dori. These pretty much all have the same formula. As long as you worked it up, it could be opaque in one coat. If you wanted to do thinner coats, 2 coats is no problem at all. So you can see there, the more that I work, the kind of more that it deposits onto the nail. So this was opaque in one coat for me. Here is a look at the completed mani with top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. Lastly, I have Zoya's Live, and Live is described as a fun-filled purple that is seriously saturated and makes a statement. So that doesn't say much about the tone. This is kind of like an orchid purple, I think. I have some comparisons here. This is up against Odette. Odette is a much more neutral kind of purple color, much more muted. So next I'll compare it once more to Zoya's Fergie. And Fergie has a little bit more pink in it. So I will show you a brush shot. And I'll show you how Liv swatched on my natural nail. So here is one coat of Liv. This one goes on really easy. This one might have a touch thinner formula than the rest of them. At one coat I had full coverage, but 2 coats is going to deepen it up and make it look like the same color that it is in the bottle. I also had a little rough patch there, so I will let this dry and come back in for a second coat. So here is the second coat of Liv. I'm just going to do a thin coat to even it out and deepen it up just a little bit. There is a difference for me though in 1 and 2 coats. I think either are acceptable, it just depends on your preference and application. So here is a look at the finished mani at 2 coats without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle. As a special bonus, Zoya sent me the 2 matching lipsticks that released with the collection. So this is Candy and Melly. Here's a quick swatch of Candy. Candy is a very blue toned pink. And this is a quick look at Melly. Melly is a bit deeper, more red toned, but still pink, very watermelony raspberry. So that wraps up my swatch and review of the Zoya Sunsets collection for summer 2016. If you'd like to see more photos, including macros, they are available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. These polishes are available now. I'll link Zoya down below. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.